o'clock, so we're going to kick off. And what I really want to talk about today is how to show up for your customers in a way that is going to be relevant and memorable. And one of the things I saw out there in all the reading and the watching that I've been doing is that the idea of random acts of delight. So random acts of kindness always, but random acts of delight are a real good way to think about connecting with customers right now. So I am going to mute everybody for right now. And yes, and I'm going to do this. Nope, not doing that. Nothing like a little, Zoom to play around with, right? Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. Two, I say two. All right, well, here we are. All right, so what I want to do is I want to show you some examples of random acts of delight. I'm also going to really focus on how to be relevant right here, right now. There are several things that I've seen some wonderful things out there, and then I've seen some things that make me scratch my head and curious and cringe. So I want to make sure you guys aren't one of those businesses doing that. And to start with, I want to talk about a little bit about what's going on right now. So this week feels like it's like a year from last week to me, in terms of the communications that I'm getting, in terms of where I am personally, and also where my customers are. So last week felt very much about the COVID virus, and there was plenty of information about it, plenty of information about the stock market, lots and lots of communication about closings and reduced services, etc. What I found, and what I also found as I was, kind of out there looking and watching other leaders, is that they did a couple of them did polls, and their polls came up. They asked them, they were at a loss for what to talk about on social media. And so they asked their followers to weigh in. And so there were three different things that they were asking them about. So do they want to see more about the coronavirus? Do you want to hear from me or from them about the coronavirus? And these were not health professionals. So the second was business as usual. And then the third one, I don't remember. But the point is 50% of people across the board said business as usual. And this was towards the end of last week, where we were all pretty much getting very, I think, fatigued by the, I don't want to say doomsday predictions, but because there's nothing fake about it. It's happening. It's happening to us and around us. But we can do something. We can do several things. And one of the things that most people are doing is, this thing made us all stop and reprioritize. So I always talk about, think about what your customer is going through. Well, guess what? Your customer is doing exactly what you're doing. They're trying to get information. They're trying to scramble and get their kids set up. And those are all things that are happening for business owners, as well as for customers who are probably also business owners. So keeping those things in mind, one thing you can do, or actually more than that, but is to stop selling and start connecting, start helping. I always tell people, like I said, to step into your customer's shoes. So think about what is bringing you comfort right now. Is it business as usual? Great. Do you have some tips that you could offer for working from home? Great. what is relevant right now that you could offer or point someone to that would help them get through this week? Because every week is going to change. We're just going to keep evolving. And honestly, I think that always happens around us at a really fast pace. We don't notice it as much, but since we're all having to slow down and really take stock of what we're going to do first, second, third, fourth in our day, it is much more prevalent. It's much more obvious. So there are lots of ways to do this, to be relevant, to be of service. And I say of service, sometimes that doesn't sound doable. So helping, how can you help? And I've got some great examples of what some businesses are doing, both large and small, and some examples of what is not so hot and what is awesome. So I'm going to show you, first of all, everybody see this. Final hours, 4 t-shirts and shorts. This came in Tuesday. So this is from a major retailer. One of the problems or the challenges they have is that major retailers have their calendars, their content calendars and marketing calendars laid out usually 6 to 12 to 18 months in advance, because they know what merchandise is coming in. And so they have things laid out, they have things set. What happens when this kind of situation occurs, you really see who's able to pivot, I guess, for a better word, or shift to accommodate what's happening in the world and to their customers. So Tuesday, I get final hours, which I don't think I would use final hours at all during the pandemic. To me, immediately, I was like, what? 4 tees and shorts. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a shopper at heart. I love to shop. So I look at this and I'm like, okay, whatever. Oh, look, 600 doorbusters. That's exciting, because right now, most of us are being told to stay home. Then, of course, the deal of the day. And here's some makeup. Oh, yeah, I could probably use that. And then, oh, look, right here, a temporary store closure and coronavirus update in little tiny font and little tiny banner that is between 2 things. And I rolled right by it. I don't know if you caught it when I went by it the first time, but this was their way of saying, hi, we know what's going on. Okay. So this is a retailer that not only sells clothing and makeup, they sell home goods. So they sell mixers and, toasters and every other kind of appliance for your home. And they sell men's clothes. They sell women's clothes, obviously. They sell kids' clothes. So I'm gonna now show you another major retailer who doesn't have as flexible a merchandise. They are strictly a women's clothing. All right. Here's another example of a retailer. Now this is a women's retailer. I did not hide the name in this one because I'm praising them. The other one is, I'm just gonna let you figure it out. What I love about this one is they, of course, are telling me I need to find the best work from home, which for me, WF, I went in the wrong direction with that initially, but then I realized what they were saying. And I love that they're acknowledging we're all in our sweatpants. We're all in comfortable clothes. That's one of the perks. But what they do is they not only offer me something, they address the fact that most of the meetings today and forever, at least in the near future, are from home. And that most of us are doing it from either, if you have a home office, great, but a lot of people are at the kitchen table. And how do you look pulled together for a work meeting? And they're offering ideas. So this particular ad is not, it had several kind of a carousel. So there were several looks within the email. But that is a way to be of service, be relevant, and still stay in touch with your customers. Is it going to bring them more sales? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I'm more likely to buy from them because they're making me think about, oh, what do I need to work from home? Or what else could I get that would help me work from home? So I think this is a great example of a large retailer doing something to really help their customers with where they are right now. So being relevant and being helpful, those are the two things I want you to take away from this. Another thing I will say, this is 24/7, any and all of the time. Please do not create an offer that is for first customers only, especially right now. Because right now is where you want to be engaging more so with the customers you already have. Yes, your message should go out in a way that is going to reach maybe some other people, but right now just write for your current customer. And by all means, if you do decide to do for first customers only, there better be an even better deal that you're offering your loyal customers. Because I don't know about you, but I see it all the time with the cable company and the phone company. I can get a great deal if I just switch to them as a first-time customer, but I'm already their customer, and they're giving somebody who hasn't been paying them a lot of money for a long time a deal, and that feels just wrong. Really, it does. So that's my little rant. Okay, that's going to be 24/7, any day of the week or year. Please, please. And right now, it'll especially piss people off. So that was an example of a major retailer, a major company doing something helpful, and then one that wasn't really adjusting to the change in what's happening in the world. And for whatever reason, but that was Tuesday of this week. They should by now have a plan in place to start adjusting those ads in their email, for crying out loud. There is also a way to be of service if you're in another industry. So I want to show you another example. Last week, as you know, the stock market went kaflooey, and fortunately, I'm not a big, I don't follow the market as closely as probably one would want me to, but I did, let me see, there it is. All right, let's see if I can share this now without having my world changed dramatically. Okay, so this is Acorns. Acorns, they're very, they're like a friendly play school version. I shouldn't say it like that. I say it that way only for myself because it feels easier to me to invest in myself when it's little pieces I don't even know are being put into my account because I said, yes, please take my change. And then they're being invested in the stock market. Well, I didn't even think about the fact that my stuff is in the stock market until I got this little message. And I had definitely been, aware that there were issues. But previously, Acorns was sending me emails about partners who were offering a bonus. If I bought from them, that partner was going to put some money in my account. So what they did, and I noticed this actually before Friday, but this one's from Friday, is they started sending emails that said the market's in a nutshell. Of course, I love because it's related to their brand. But first of all, there's a hopeful message. And then they explain really simply, laying it out in a way that is easy to scan, what is going on and what the big news is that I need to know. So there are details within each of these about what you can do. Here's a story about how a woman recovered from defaulting on student loans. Amazing. So, these are things that people are thinking about. Then they explain the market a little bit, also gave some advice. some resources if you lose your job. This is the one that I thought was super interesting. This has nothing to do with finance, and yet everything to do with our health, which affects our finances. And so they gave some really simple things that we can do. And the thing that I loved the most was 5 virtual getaways to cure cabin fever. So right away, they are right there with us. They are listening to us. They know everybody's freaking out about being home with their kids or just being home in general. And life has become a little boxed in. So I, of course, wanted to go on a virtual getaway. So I will show you what they did. And I just think it's like so smart, so very smart. And this is something that you can do as well. So, and I'm going to introduce you to someone who's doing it in her business in a minute, but here's the article. Here's the article. And in it, they give all these links to virtual tours. So you can go to Paris and tour museums there. You can, they have the Smithsonian. There was like a whole bunch of ones. And of course, the ones I love are the animals. So they had the zoo, they have the elephant yard at one of the zoos, the panda, all live streaming. So like I went in there at like 6 in the morning and the panda was asleep. So, but, so I knew it was live, but how cool. Now, of course, this could be a little rabbit hole that we all fall into with Facebook sometimes and other social media, but it offered me something I didn't know about or hadn't thought of that could relieve my tension, stress, boredom, cabin fever for free. And that is where I'd love for you to be thinking. Think about different ways to be relevant, offer help, and stay connected. If you have a newsletter that you started months ago, years ago, whatever, this is the time to bring it back. Because a newsletter that you send out even once a month, but I'd highly recommend twice if you can do it, is a way to drop into somebody's inbox and say, hi, I'm thinking of you, without knocking on their door. And I love what Ann Handley says. She's a writing guru that I just love, marketing guru. And she says, a lot of people focus on the news part of newsletter, but think of it as a letter to your customer. Think of it as just a quick text to your customer, but it's in the form of an email, and they have asked, they want to hear from you. So that is a wonderful thing for you to do right now. And in it, you can be adding things that you have heard about that they might not know about. The point is that it's not going to feel the same, because it's not the same as what we've been told to do or what you might have seen in the past with sales, like that major retailer. This is about building relationships with your customers, staying connected, offering them hope, offering them a sense of business as usual, as we found out they want. And there's some really creative ways to do it. Now, restaurants. So I really feel for service and businesses that can't go online the way maybe your business can't. But one that I heard of that I think is just so brilliant, I will share with you right now. So I heard about this on one of the webinars that I was on last week. But so there's a pizza place, and this one, it happens to be in California. So all my California friends, I don't know where Weaverville is, but they offered a roll of toilet paper along with your order. So what I love about that is relevant, definitely right in the moment, and memorable, really memorable, and something that is useful. I mean, like, it ticks all the boxes, and it gave like word of mouth, like I know about it. I wouldn't have known about it if they just said 2 pizzas for $5, right? So again, it's that marketing that is sort of organic, it's word of mouth, and really, really thinking about what your customer needs right now. So I just love that. And I'm going to stop now because I want to just ask you guys if you all have seen or heard or are doing anything similar, or if any of this resonates. So I'm unmuting everybody. So any thoughts on what I've been showing you in terms of examples? Oh, unmute all. There it is. Can you hear me?
I think
Oh,
Julie
lots of people
and Jonathan are still muted, but maybe
it looks like it. They might have.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys just
I
unmute.
don't want to
Okay, there you go.
have anyone hear me chewing, so I'm muting. Okay. Sending love to you all.
Okay, fair enough. But have you seen any examples of this, of a business being in the moment, relevant, helpful, and really thinking creatively about how to stay connected?
Nope.
Yes.
Well, I'm a photographer, and so I can't really see or touch people right now. So that's kind of given me not a whole lot to do. So I like to sew in my free time. I won't say that I'm a great sewer, but you know, I like to sew really fast, straight lines. So this kind of falls into it. And when I heard about the shortage of face masks, and while everybody's really trying to help, you know, the first responders and stuff, I thought about all those people that are kind of working in the grocery stores and my clients that may still have to go out and get groceries. So I have been sewing these little handy dandy face masks like this. And I've sent some to my clients. I did send some to my niece that's a nurse. I was in Walmart yesterday and I saw an elderly lady that was working, and probably working because, you know, she has to. And so I offered one to her and she was super grateful. So it's just kind of given me something to do to pass the time, because unfortunately I probably won't be working for quite some time. So that's an idea that I had, and so far it's been received, and a lot of people haven't even gotten them yet because they just went in the mail. But I figured that's a little way that I could give back. So that's what I've done.
Wow. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted you to be on today as a guest, because I just loved how it was in the moment, relevant, helpful, and not related to selling photos, right? It's not related to having people do, and they're super cute. So like, really,
I made some for the men too, just in case they didn't want honeybees or flowers.
Yeah, good. So thoughtful. See, thinking of the customer. But I just love that idea. I love that you have a talent that doesn't have anything to do with your talent as a photographer, and you're thinking about how to use that talent. And I know that this came specifically, I think, because it's so close to you. Your niece, as you said, is a nurse. So it really, I mean, I want everybody to think about this. You don't have to think about the world and how to reach them. Think about yourself. Really, in this moment, that is one of the biggest things you can do, is think about what is bringing you comfort, what is helpful to you, what resources, you know, do you need, and then step into your customer's shoes and ask that. Well, our time is up. And ask the question about that for them. What do they need? Especially right now, right here, right now, in this moment, we as human beings are closer to each other in the distance that we're keeping. We are closer in the experience that we are all having. So it's a lot easier to, right now is like a really easy time to think about things you could do to stay current, stay connected, and stay relevant.
Want to add, if
So
anybody here needs a mask, you can get my information from Linda, and I'll be happy to send you one, or front porch pickup, or if you're, you know, local or whatever. I've made about 50 of them, so now I'm just trying to find a need and people to share them with. So
nice. Well, that is, and tell me a little bit about, so what are your plans? So if anyone missed it, she's sending a mask to clients, but what are you sending with it? It's not just a random mask, right?
just a little note. I might include a picture from a recent session on a note card, but just a little message that just says, hey, I hope you're doing well. And that's really it. You know, just trying to tell them that, you know, I'm thinking about them. You know, some industries are hit harder than others, and some people have to go to work whether they want to or not, and then other people can't go to work and want to. So just a little note to say, hey, just to try to connect, and just let them know that I'm thinking about them and I'm here. And just, I can't make thousands of masks, and I can't do a whole lot right now. So it was just something that I don't know, it was just kind of on my heart that something that I could do. And so I just said, why not? And maybe my little 50 masks, like we made one for my elderly neighbor next door. She's like 95. You'd think she's like 20, but, you know, just in case she has to get out, because I know she's at more risk. And so, you know, a lot of people are taking care of the healthcare workers, or trying to take care of the healthcare workers, but there's still a lot of people that are out there that are having to work that will probably never even have an opportunity to get a mask unless it's, you know, something that they make for themselves or something like that. So just trying to reach a teeny tiny small need, and just do my part to do something, because otherwise I'm just over here watching the crickets and my children.
And oh good, yeah,
I am watching the children. And my daughter's been a super good help, you know, cutting the rubber bands and cutting up lots of random fabrics for me while we sew. So
nice.
Melinda,
And
I have been doing, I did a personality savvy webinar to teach people how to navigate personalities.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And on the 3rd, I have a lady doing a webinar on how to do video marketing. So if you want to know about that, message me. Or, but I'm just reaching out and saying hello to people. And I have a postable account, so I can send them cards just to say, hey. And I'm texting just clients just to go, hey, I'm just checking on you. Because I think that's nice. Even if it's the same old text to everybody, they just hear that. I also have essential oil roller bottles. Wild orange helps with scarcity. So I'm sending out some of those because they're like, ah, I'm like, you'll be all right. And I'm also doing, somebody actually recommended to me to do EFT tapping on, because my focus is teenagers, to do teenagers that are upset because they don't have prom. So, which is true. I mean, that's a grief and a upset and a disappointment for them. So
think about it to us, right? You know, all you have to do is think back to what was important to us at that time, and that's great. That's great.
So I just have to do the marketing to get it out there, because I'm not seeing as many contacts as possible. So even today, a lesson I've learned also in marketing is sometimes you just need to hit the ground and call people and tell them what you're doing, because I can be across the whole US and I have tons of people I could talk to. And I signed up for the homeschool fair, and I had to go virtual instead of being there. But I was really annoyed because I spent $200 essentially, maybe $250 on marketing and registration, and then it was nothing. And I wasted a day, and I was like, this is so stupid. Referrals work great. I know these things.
They do work great. And guess what? It's not just a day. So I really want to encourage you to now that you, and I would hope you got some contact information, like general contact information.
You would hope.
From but they didn't send it to you?
They had some stupid app that didn't work. And so you could see that someone was messaging you, but you can't see the message. It was dumb. So I need to circle back to the organizers and go, you got to help.
Yeah. Exactly. I would definitely do that because there's there may have been lots, I'm sure there were lots of people who were frustrated that they couldn't reach you. There may also be people that didn't need you that day, but if you continue to show up on a regular basis in their email, and I don't mean every day, you know this. I mean, a regular basis to me is every 2 weeks, or every week is fine as long as it's not sell. And right now, not at all.
Look at the elastic cutter.
Yes, it's our rubber band cutter.
Oh,
Rubber band. There you go.
Aw. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with us, because it's helpful to know that you're how to do a virtual event, how to really make sure that you're getting the return on your investment for a virtual event. Janetta, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. This was amazing. And you are amazing. I'm going to tune in every Wednesday.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
Settling several things, while I was listening and watching, but I couldn't chime in at the end. But I love what everyone's doing. I'm proud of you ladies for just taking action, and it was very inspiring. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, we're going to wrap up for today. And I'm going to try to figure out how to make my video the big one. And if not, we can just have everybody. So thank you so much for joining today. If there's anything that you think of that came up and you want to brainstorm, just send me a message. And I really am excited about the things that you're all sharing and doing in your communities, and just keep doing it. Keep on doing it. All right. So take care, everyone. Bye.